Hello everyone, my name is Victor. I am the Occult Technician, and this is 13 Tribes, Part 8. To pick up where we left off, it's been several months since I sent my last letter to Deog, and of course I haven't heard from him or any representative from the 12 tribes. During my time spent with the 12 tribes, I found the men to be cowards and completely unable to address any input that fell outside of their limited doctrine. With that being said, I decided to once again attempt to reach out to Deog. This time there was no letter, but instead a few items that I hoped would allow Joe to step outside of the character he plays, and maybe, just for a moment, remember his life before he entered the 12 tribes, and provide a glimpse of what his life could be like outside of the tribes. The first item I sent him was a yearbook photo of Joey and I when we were in elementary school. The goal of this picture was to remind Joe that he and I were friends long before the 12 tribes entered our lives. The next item was a printout from Zillow.com showing him that his childhood home is currently up for sale. This home is just down the street from my parents' home and has been abandoned for years. Remarkably, the home is now on the market, but has been unable to sell because of some incomplete plumbing repairs. My hope is that he will see that there are options outside of the tribes, one of those options being familiar and readily available. The final item I sent him was a sticker from my series Mind War. The sticker is a picture of me playing the character I call Uncle Vic, who is based off of the character named Uncle Sam, who was used to recruit Americans into the U.S. military. The reason I sent that sticker to Joe was to let him know there is still a cause worth fighting for outside of the 12 tribes. Many military veterans feel disillusioned when they leave the armed forces. They often feel like they've lost their purpose, their mission. He has been wrapped up in the beliefs of the 12 tribes for so long that I wanted him to know that he will still have purpose when he decides to leave. Now, like with the other letters, I don't think that I will hear from Deog or anyone else from the 12 tribes based on this most recent attempt at contacting him. So I decided to take a different approach in order to, let's say, turn up the heat a bit. In episode 6 of the 13 Tribes series, I spoke about the Marshall Fire, one of the most devastating wildfires in Colorado history. Quick reminder, the Marshall Fire was started at the very property that Deog is in charge of. My guess is that the burn pile that started the Marshall Fire was ignited under the direct authority of Deog. With the anniversary of the Marshall Fire just a few weeks away, I decided to reach out to Shelley Bradbury, a journalist at the Denver Post, who has written an extensive expose on the 12 tribes. I will now read for you the email that I sent Shelley. Dear Shelley Bradbury, on the condition of anonymity, I was childhood best friends with a man named Joseph Daniel Fisher. Joe now goes by the name Deog Anashim and is a high-ranking member of the 12 Tribes cult in Boulder, Colorado. Joe joined the 12 Tribes cult over 20 years ago when he got out of the Army. I spent a lot of time visiting Joe and this new community that he lived in. Although their lifestyle may be considered a little unorthodox, I remember them to simply be eccentric folks who seemed to truly love each other and their way of living. Now, I haven't seen or heard from Joe in over 10 years. That is, until February 1st of this year, when I saw him appear on my television screen. This came about because two influential YouTubers, who go by Reckless Ben and Danny Burke, went undercover and infiltrated the 12 Tribes cult for several weeks. They were able to record their interactions with the cult members using spy glasses and hidden cameras. In a video from Reckless Ben's YouTube channel titled, "I Joined Another Cult," Ben and his girlfriend Lydia sat down and had a conversation with Joe. The 12 Tribes cult is heavily influenced by their Judeo-Christian beliefs and often talked in parables about what the future held for the 12 tribes. During the conversation, Joe said something that completely shocked me. Joe said, "It's kind of the beginning of a whole new time. 1 year into our mission. The mission is to see this age come to an end." He gave to his people a kind of a blueprint that would be how to bring an end to humanity. Again, this came from a video that was uploaded on February 1st, 2023 on Reckless Ben's YouTube channel. This type of language did not sound like the fairy tales I heard over a decade ago. This sounded much more militaristic and dangerous. I do not mean to over-sensationalize, so I will do my best to explain what I believe he meant based on my time spent visiting the 12 Tribes cult. It's kind of the beginning of a whole new time. In my opinion, this correlates to the dawning of the age of Aquarius, basic astrological belief that says we are moving from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. 1 year into our mission. I believe this is referring to the death of their founder, Albert Eugene Spriggs, Jr. The mission is to see this age come to an end. Again, age of Aquarius talk. It's the last sentence that really concerns me. He gave to his people a kind of a blueprint that would be how to bring an end to humanity. So what is the blueprint? If I remember correctly, their goal is to raise 144,000 men, 12,000 from each tribe, born from within the cult, that they will send out into the world to proselytize the gospel around the year 2060. This is somewhat like what the Mormons do today in their 2-year proselytizing missions. But the 12 tribes believe that by 2060, the world will so hate any form of gospel truth that the world will condemn these men. Through that condemnation, Jesus, who the cult calls Yeshua, will return from heaven with his army of angels and will fight Satan and his army of demons. So, back to reality. Once I saw this video, I began to update myself as much as possible to the changes and events that occurred regarding the 12 Tribes cult over the last 10 years. Once again, I found myself completely shocked when I saw that the Marshall Fire was started at the property that Joe is a leader at. Having read through the Marshall Fire Investigative Summary and Review released June 8, 2023, I saw that the fires were started on Christmas Eve. The devastation that was caused by that fire and the rhetoric we hear on that video recorded almost 2 years later shows a complete disregard for the pain and suffering caused by the 12 Tribes cult. There seems to be no remorse for what they did as they smile and serve sandwiches to the good people of Boulder. The people affected by the Marshall Fire should be outraged. In the report, I also see that blame is being laid at the feet of Xcel Energy Colorado for possibly starting a different fire in another location from a downed power line around the same time that the El Dorado Springs fire began. Now, I understand that Xcel Energy has much deeper pockets than the 12 Tribes cult, but I truly hope that the focus of the investigative results remains on the 12 tribes. You know better than most the shady business dealings of the 12 tribes and the countless LLCs that they have around the world. Justice in this matter could begin to unravel the empire that has been built by exploitation and fear. Once the public is made aware of this video, when they hear the callous way that the 12 Tribes cult talks about their fellow man, once they can put a face to who is truly responsible for starting the Marshall Fire, I think that will fan the flames to ensure that justice is served. Shelley, you did an amazing job on your 12 Tribes business expose. If you write a follow-up article based on the information I've provided, I need to stay anonymous. Here's the tricky part. I have been telling my experiences with the 12 Tribes cult through my art on social media. I will share that social media with you, but that also needs to remain anonymous for any article. A sympathetic childhood best friend would be a great description of who I am. My contact information is below. For a deeper understanding of my side of the story, please find my YouTube playlist titled My Magical Year. There is also a playlist titled Reference Material that may be helpful. As someone who once worked at the Chattanooga Times Free Press, I'm sure you have a deeper understanding than most of how the 12 Tribes cult can burrow in and influence the community around them. And your reporting on other extremist religious groups makes you more than qualified to dig deeper into who the 12 Tribes cult really are. As individuals, I do not think that the members of the 12 Tribes cult are dangerous, but as a community, their ideology is. Luke 12:49. I have come to set the world on fire, and I wish it were already burning. New Living Translation. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Thank you for your time and consideration, Shelley. Sincerely, your friend Victor, the Occult Technician. P.S. If the cult members are supposedly considered owners of the Yellow Deli LLCs, then if a member decides to leave, do you think that they could sue for the value of their share of the business? My hope is that Shelley will take the information that I've provided, and on the upcoming anniversary of the Marshall Fire, she will remind the good people of Boulder, Colorado, exactly who was at fault for starting such a devastating fire. From what I understand, the citizens of Boulder are not too happy with their bohemian neighbors and are actively working to root them out of their community. And if somehow the work that I do here played even a small role in that happening, what more could I ask for? So folks, I'll keep you updated on any new developments in the ongoing saga of the 13 tribes. And until next time, thank you for joining me. Your friend Victor, the Occult Technician.
5 minutes now, and they're already starting to get deep into their beliefs.
Kind of the beginning of a whole time. 1 year into our mission. The mission is to see this age come to an end. Huh?
Yeah, it's a big mission. Yeah, it's a big mission.
He gave to his people a kind of a blueprint that would be how to bring an end to humanity.
4, 3, 2, 1. Wake up. Open your eyes.